of the month. So we have our pancake breakfast every Wednesday. People are looking at me like, what's going on? We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch right now, which is what we always do. So we got some folks in the house, which is awesome, fantastic. And we'll learn from you guys here shortly. But for those that can't come in today, Jill, the executive director of Bremerton Housing Authority, couldn't make it today, and Katie, they have another meeting, but they're going to Skype in or Zoom in and have a conversation with us. And Adam Smith from Youth for Christ got ill, so he'll come on next month. But we're going to have a good time. And so eat your food, enjoy, and stay tuned for all the latest and greatest information. All right? All right. Man, it's like a library in here. You guys supposed to turn up. It's hump day. It's free food. Whoop, whoop. There we go. All right, we'll get started in about 15 minutes. 15. To get some seconds, we were out of hash browns, so I had to run to the store, so they're making some hash browns. I know you already ate, but hash browns are delicious.
Oh, yeah.
I
got my plate right here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them.
It's like this.
Yeah. I didn't get my hash brown yet. I have my pancake.
Wow. I have my pancake.
And I don't do sausage, so.
Oh, you don't do sausage?
I keep away from
sausage is good.
Oh, man. I'm straight up carnivore.
So we're on camera? Without looking like vegetables.
Well, luckily, no. Only this is on camera here.
Oh, okay.
But I could put you on camera if you would like that, because there's one right there in that corner.
Yeah.
You want me to switch to that one?
I don't mind.
I'm so glad to hear that.
What?
Be on camera. I take selfies all day long.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Were you planning? Did you know my mother?
Yeah, a little while.
Yeah, we do.
Close.
Yeah, me too.
You walking?
No, I'll drive. You can come with me.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go together.
All right.
Even though we're not together,
You'll
we
give
can
me
go
a ride.
together.
Yeah.
I know there's some serious chemistry. I'm not good.
Thank you. Thank you. I have serious chemistry with everyone.
Yes. We hit it off.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what? That's actually tighter than usual. So
It already started kind of coming out a little bit.
Anyone who what?
Hot bars when you bring birds.
oh, it's keep it out. That should be good. I mean, I was able to get a charge Saturday, and it was basically
I know
handy.
your sister.
You do know her sister?
Yes.
Oh, is that why you
I could
knew
put some
her?
tape on it.
That she looked
I
familiar
was
to you and your
thinking
sister?
that.
Uh-huh.
I might even have
No,
taken
I
that.
know.
I have that.
Yeah, my sister Jean and I don't look like
No.
Paula.
Yeah.
Have you met Paula?
I probably did.
Yeah.
I've lived in Kitsap County.
Boy.
Did you call it Kidnap County?
Yes.
There's that ball team that she has Kidnap County.
I've been here
Really
since I
under
only had-
uniform.
I had
It's like a
pregnant
historical
with one
thing.
child.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Moved in when he was 2 years old. I told you he's 35 years old. I've been here, and I have 7 children now.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Kidnap
So,
County.
Kidnap. I've heard that before. I've heard that before, and I'm like, that's the first time I seen it was on a actual uniform on the ball field just the other day on Sunday. Somebody had Kidnap County on their uniform. I'm like, what is going on?
Well, and you know, it used to be called Slaughter County too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to have a roller derby team called the Slaughter County Vixens.
They probably still have them.
And they have a bar down in Port Orchard called Slaughter County.
Really?
Yeah.
Right
What
around-
was the reference for? I mean, I get kidnapped because people must get kidnapped from here frequently,
Oh, well, it's like this. You go.
right?
It seems
I
like,
mean, isn't that why?
well, I moved away, and I missed it. I had to draw me back here.
So that's why it's called kidnapped.
Yeah, I
County?
kinda
Because
got you back.
I mean,
Wasn't it
everybody
called
knew
like
that.
Slaughter County too?
I moved over there in 1983 and came back in 2008
Oh.
because I have
I was going to go all
grandkids.
serious on it. And I'm thinking, I wonder if it's because of the tribes. Because, you know, there's a
Oh,
whole
yes.
trafficking thing going on right now. The tribes are like the biggest.
I'm Sioux. I'm from South Dakota and I'm Lakota Sioux. Partly, not enough to be recognized by the tribe, but enough. And we had, when I went to law school there, they had a whole section dedicated to indigenous law. And I spent a semester over on Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. That is one of the worst atrocities this country has
It is.
ever
It is.
forced on anyone. It's incredible.
Yeah, and then and that's the visible ones. I don't know. Okay, I've been doing this work for a long time, 2 decades.
Okay.
So
Katie and Jill, I'm 45.
one of the things that slipped under the radar is there was a mine when mines are abandoned, they have pools of really nasty toxic stuff that everyone forgets about. They just leave it. One of them broke and went into the Colorado River, and a couple of the ancillary rivers went down, and the Navajo lost a good chunk of their agriculture because the water poisoned everything. And the EPA brought in barrels of water that for them to drink that were equally toxic, and their groundwater got poisoned as well. So it's kind of like these are the things that happen all the time.
And we don't talk about it.
And nobody talks about it. The news doesn't cover it. And it's like, this is and the Navajo were getting a real big edge on agriculture.
Nope.
So
Yeah, it's incredible.
When they took out the indigenous children and tried to brainwash them into being white and take away their native culture, period. And then now they're finding burial grounds.
Oh, isn't it just so obnoxious?
Burial grounds of kids.
It's obtrusive, like just completely. Like our way is better than any other way, and it's like
Terry and I have these conversations all the time, and one of the things I talk to her about is that, you can get angry about each and every single thing and spend your time being pissed off. Or you can realize that our culture is toxic by nature and by programming, and like many in artificial intelligence, our culture can be reprogrammed, but it has to be reprogrammed by us.
yes,
So until we start talking to each other and agreeing on a more human-centric future, we're going to continue to be pissed off.
yeah,
And we aren't going to fix anything. And poor Matt here is going to be spinning his wheels trying to do everything with too little resources, just like everyone else in his position,
yeah,
until we start coming together and saying we need to fix this stuff because no one is thriving in this environment.
yeah. We're barely surviving. We
Purple's
can't
my
even get to
favorite color.
thriving.
I'm not saying you're not doing a good job.
Oh, we're any color, but still.
The need
Oh,
far
Kendra
outpaces
and I
what we could ever do.
For sure, for sure.
Never had them.
Yeah,
Oh, but I
You guys want to migrate?
I'm like, well, yeah, my mom's a purple girl. I'm the
Yes,
we're
I'll come to the
gonna
front.
no, because I actually have to leave around noon for another meeting that I have to go to.
Yeah.
So you should talk first.
There we go.
So migrate to the front. You don't even have to honk like a geese and flap wings or anything.
Okay, I'll
You want
migrate
to come to the front?
No,
No!
I'm here if you have specific questions you'd like to
Yeah, but
answer.
I'm
I know, but the
I'm
audience
feel
needs to
different.
see.
That's where you
Yeah,
have
that
to
is
be.
the-
I will just listen.
You have to be.
I'm not famous like her.
I'm not famous.
She
girl.
knows a lot.
No,
Done eating out
I know
right.
I
nothing.
like your stuff.
Thank you.
Grab everybody.
It's my favorite shirt.
So get it out
I'll
of
get
the way.
there when I get
I'm
there.
here to, that's my
Perfect.
Right? Thank you.
Oh, so we swapped places this time. Cool.
I'll go
Come
sit
on
here.
down. You're the next contestant.
I'm getting out of the way.
All right.
I'll sit right here though.
Well, we want to see
No,
you.
yeah, no,
Oh,
that's where the
okay.
cameras are aimed.
Okay. All right.
Is that the camera up there?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
she's smart. So I'm just gonna sit here and
So you got
listen.
it permanently installed.
Mm-hmm.
She knows so
Sweet.
much.
Yeah. Like,
So it's just real easy.
like real.
I envy you. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah. That's like,
sorry.
And it spins
You
360.
know a lot.
So
yeah, so you can, yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and last time I came
Then
up here
you
and I
are
forgot that the
easily
camera was on. And I was
fooled.
setting my stuff down and
Do
adjusting
not
my
believe
pants
in that.
and watching myself.
All
do it.
right.
I'm going,
Keyshawn, let us know when we're on.
yeah.
Please tell me your name again.
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn. And Jocelyn, who are you with?
Well, with God.
You're with God? That's a good answer.
It's my man. It's my answer.
That would be
Jocelyn God is your man? Oh man.
That's it.
That's a story
so
right there.
You really take it seriously when they say go with God. Go with God.
Oh, for sure.
There
For
you
sure.
are.
I do. I don't know how we can get anywhere without him.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm
One of those up here.
We'll have someone hand you this.
Okay.
I feel like this is a little bit weird because I talk so loud anyways that I don't really need a microphone.
Well, the audience needs to hear you.
Okay. So my name's Jocelyn La Madrid. I've been a tax attorney since 2004, although I was never going to practice law again. And then I decided, God said, no, you're going to use everything that I've given you. And that includes that law degree that you paid a lot of money for. So I'm in the process of doing that. But my whole focus, my whole whatever I'm doing in life is all surrounded around loving people, and loving the most unlovable is kind of my jam. So we do a prayer walk where we go and we find individuals that, my favorite are the ones that say, stay away from that person because they're dangerous. And I run to that person and my life never made sense until I got seedy, until I started to be able to love everyone, and it's incredible. It's so incredible when you see the shame just start to shed through love. It's incredible. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I just want to see everyone realize how loved they are by God just by who they are.
So when do you do your prayer walks?
We do it. Yep, we do it the second and fourth Saturdays of every month at 9:00. We meet at the Marvin Williams Center, and then we do it. I call it a parade. They're not fun yet, but whatever. So we have 7 wagons. We load it up with care packages, and we have a couple women who prepare the care packages, for the care packages. Charcuterie care packs. We do women's care packs, men's care pack, hands, feet, whatever. Like we try to, and we got bows tied on them, and charcuterie is our big thing. We have a signature drink of the streets, hot apple pie in a cup. It's beautiful. It's incredible. And we just want everyone to know how loved they are. Take wagons up and down the alley, so anyone who tries to hide for us. One of the things that we have found is when there's so much shame, people hide and they don't want to be seen. And my goal is to say you can run, but you can never outrun God's love. So we search for them. They can try. We'll find them and we'll love them. Until we get a restraining order, and then it just kind of everything goes by the wayside.
So you said it's on Saturday.
Saturday morning from 9 to about 11. Sometimes we take a little bit longer. On the fourth Saturdays, Reverend Stewart at New Day, he usually puts on a barbecue, so we call it the after party, and we go over there, and then we get a party with everyone at the Salvation Army. So
are you the folks that are out there in the morning on Saturday? Do you know where the metal shop is? Shares the parking lot. Well, the co-op is here.
Yes.
In the parking lot.
Yes.
So that's you guys.
That's us with the wagons.
Okay. Well, that's good.
We call them our concierge stations because it sounds fancier than wagons. But I just learned that we're known as the wagon train ladies, and I'm pretty excited about that.
The wagon train ladies.
The wagon train ladies, yes. But we've had people. One of the cool things is we walk through and someone says, "Are you the ladies who pray?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Will you pray for us?" And we're like, "Yeah." And so we're starting to see more people just becoming open to the idea of how lovable they are and how loved they are, and they're worth it. They're worth more than where they're currently at. So that's where we're at.
So I have to ask, have you ever had to circle the wagons?
Did we ever what?
Ever have to circle the wagons?
No.
Like the old Westerns?
No. We do give away some wagons, though, and I get into a lot of trouble because they're like, "Where are we going to come up with the money?" And I'm like, "God will provide. God will provide."
Will you type your information there for the chat for the audience?
Yes.
And then hand the mic to Matt. Matt, how you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how you feeling?
Feeling okay.
Yeah, how's it going at KCO?
Busy as ever, as always. A lot going on.
What's new in the zoo?
Oh, there's a lot. The biggest thing that we've been working on recently is similar to the coalition. That's the Kitsap Housing Homelessness Coalition. So that's the meeting of all the providers and service folks that are working in the world of housing and homelessness. And so it's an open meeting. You're welcome to attend. I think the website is Kitsap Housing Homeless Coalition, KHHC.com.
Okay.
I want to say it's something like
I will search for it.
I think maybe we'll put the information. I don't know it off the top of my head. I want to say it's something like that. We can try to find it and put it in the info. But anyways, that's a kind of provider meeting. We've been working on one that's a little more dedicated for outreach folks. And so we've been working with the Real Team, Kitsap County Sheriff, Kitsap County, Peninsula, Coffee Oasis. So a lot of folks that are doing outreach. And so if you're an agency that is doing outreach, specifically housing outreach, you can please get in touch with us and we can try to connect you. But that's our Kitsap County most recently has created a HEART. They call it a HEART team, homeless encampment action response team. Don't worry about the acronyms. We have way too many of them. But essentially, it's a dedicated team to help respond to encampments and as compassionate as possible, help folks get into housing, especially ones that the counties deem that they need to close. So that's that's where we kind of come in, is try to help in that movement from encampment into housing. And so we're pairing that with some of the recent money that we got for the hotels. And that's what we've talked in the past, Marwan, of our hotel program. We're really pairing that with high barrier folks that have been unhoused for many years, in some cases 5 to 10, and usually have substance use or serious mental health as well. And so we've been kind of pairing those up. We're at capacity right now, but that's largely gone pretty well for a new program. There's always a lot of bumps in the road, but we're really excited for the partners that we have and then how many folks we've been able to move. I believe it's like 15 or something we've moved from in this past 2 months from an encampment into a hotel, so into housing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So the what is it? The veterans encampment, that's totally cleared out now?
I don't know if it's totally cleared out, but for the most part, yeah, it is. That is, they had a cleaning crew out there, and I know there was the county had a lot of different folks out there helping. And we were one of them. There's multiple agencies out there. I know the Real Team and Peninsula was out there too. But yeah, so that was the latest example that was pretty public. There are other encampments as well that we work with. It's not just ones that are being closed, but that was the most recent one that you might have seen in the paper or in through kind of some of the social media that the county deemed to close. And so our job was to come in and try to help as many folks find a soft landing as possible and find housing. And then we're going to work with them. Most of those folks we're working with long-term to try to find a permanent housing solution.
Do you know if the percentage of the people that were moved out of there were placed into motels or some sort of housing or shelter? Do you know the numbers on that?
So let me caveat a few. It's difficult to track, right? Because some folks decline and don't want to, participate or want to give any information. So these are all rough approximates. So just want to caveat that it's not a complete accounting, but we think roughly about 80% were connected to a resource in some way, whether that's connected to a family, went to treatment, went to shelter, or went to one of the hotels that we have provided through our hotel program. So I think we're calling it the Emergency Motel Program, EMP. So I know another acronym, but yeah, so that's roughly 80 to start. Now, again, some of these folks, might not be successful for a variety of reasons. So we know that going in. This group, there's a lot of challenges, right, for folks that have been unhoused for a long time, and they have untreated mental health, right? Some of them are actively using and are in various stages of recovery. And everyone's road, I know the recovery movement has a lot of language for that, of 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and kind of very similar for us. And so we'll be ecstatic if we can find a solution for at least half of those folks that we got in. But the initial outreach, very proud of the work that our outreach workers, all the partners did, because majority, over 75% of the folks that we at least engaged with, we got connected to some type of resource. Not all hotels, but either friend, treatment, or a hotel or shelter.
Wow, so many thoughts that come through this, and I'll try and take them in order. When you're talking about this, I'm thinking in my head that this sounds a lot like triage. What you do is essentially trying to get people to the right people and connect them to get the worst cases in first. But I also want to be very clear that it's not a complete solution, and the complete solution is a long way away, and will take more resources than Kitsap Community Resources have or any other agency. And that's going to require other people stepping up to the plate to start developing those resources and making it a priority. So to see the fantastic work that Matt and Jill and other folks are doing, don't think that they're going to be able to fix the problem, because they aren't. They're putting bandages on a gaping wound, and it's going to take us stepping up and coming together to make a difference. So just be real about that. Second, when I was working at Cisco Systems, first day there, they gave me a book about that thick that was acronyms, 3-letter acronyms, so that I'd have to figure out what people were actually saying. I'd have to flip through the book. So trying to keep that simple. There was something else, but I think that's enough. I just want people to understand that there are people in our county doing agencies that are doing remarkable work, but they are restricted by funding and outlook of the agencies who control the funding. And that won't change until people come together and decide it's time to change it. So reach out to the Kitsap Resiliency Project, because we're helping that conversation happen.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's great. So the triage is a good analogy, and that's really what Housing Solution Center. So that's one of our teams at Kitsap Community Resources, and they're coordinated entry. And I think there is a lot of confusion regarding what the different teams do. So that's a lot of what I'm trying to do lately, and Marwan's going to help with, is we're going to put a training on through the conduit of kind of how we work. But triage is a great word, and that's really what a coordinated entry system is supposed to do. Is it's supposed to be one stop that people can come to, and then they can see all the resources that are available, right? They'll refer to Kitsap Homes of Compassion, to Shelter, to George's House. They'll refer to our team. And that's really what we did with the Veterans Park folks and the other encampments throughout Kitsap, that we're starting to have more intensive outreach. We did outreach before to a lot of these places. The difference is now is, whereas we might have gone once a month with the Veterans Park, with the new money from the county for the Heart team, they're actually able to go out almost every day to build relationships with these folks. And that's what we saw, a tremendous difference in success between people trusting a case manager or a navigator, building the relationship, and then wanting to actually participate. And so that was... It's kind of common sense, right? Is that, yeah, people, when you actually have time, they'll build a relationship, and you can't build a relationship with once a month. But actually getting the funding and showing that work, we're really excited about, even though it's kind of a common sense realization. And so triage is exactly right, is that's part of what they do, is that outreach is through Housing Solution Center, coordinated entry, and then they try to figure out what solution is going to work for them. Right? What solutions available, because not all solutions are available at once. That's the difficult part. Working in a system, just like you said, that doesn't have nearly enough resources. It's one of the worst parts of our job, is that we have to prioritize, because there's never enough resources to meet the demand. Never. So we have to basically build these systems that prioritize the most vulnerable, that prioritize folks based off their need. And we try as much as we can to serve those that are most vulnerable or most at need. But triage is a good word for that. And there's a lot of systemic issues of what you're saying, of why that is. And we can get into those if we want. But a lot of these is triage, finding a temporary solution, right? Shelter is a temporary solution. The motels are temporary, because the long-term solutions are tough, and there's not a lot of them, right? Pendleton Place is one, but they've already identified, and it's amazing. And we all are so impressed with what Kitsap Mental Health have achieved. We need multiple Pendleton Places.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it can't take 6 years to build, or 8 years to build.
Yeah.
Right?
Take that from me. All right, so we've got Katie from the Bremerton Housing Authority, and she has a meeting today. Normally she's here. Katie, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Well, we can't hear Katie, so the Rev is going to work on that really quick. But one of Very nice to meet you too. So one of the things that I want to share with you while we're working that out is this is the power of meeting, right? I didn't know who Jocelyn was. Jocelyn didn't know who G2 was. And so now on the fourth Wednesday, we're going to make 20 plates of the breakfast, and she's going to take them and then distribute them out to her population that she serves. So that's how this is supposed to work, right? You meet, you create these relationships, and you find out how to do the work. And so that's really it. So I'm really excited about that. She's pretty pumped, and it's just extending it, and people can come together over food, especially free food. So we have someone else that doesn't want to be on camera, Miss Cole, which is awesome. So Miss Cole is a former student of mine at OC. And so she came in to volunteer for the Bremerton Housing Authority last week, and it's like, oh, hey. And then the next day, I saw Serena Hardy. Do you remember her? I was walking at the park. She was when we were doing the Steps to Success thing in the cafeteria. She was the one that was saying Steps to Success was like chicken soup for the soul. Yeah, she was walking at the park. She walks up behind me and she's like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Cameron." It's like, I just saw, So it's like, wow, what a small world. But we want to tell people who you are, who you work for, and just give some basic information without being on camera.
So I'm Kristen Cole. I work for Kitsap Homes of Compassion. We are a permanent supportive housing provider in Kitsap County. We provide shared housing. So we have 27 homes, about 115 beds. We have men's homes, women's homes, and one women with children home. And that's about it.
So what does your program do?
So we provide housing typically for chronically homeless individuals, but you don't have to be homeless, but we do prioritize homeless.
Are there like support services that go along with the housing?
They have housing managers, volunteer housing managers that come and do house meetings and, make sure the house gets maintenance and is operating smoothly. And besides that, we have navigators for any individual help residents need. And that's all we provide.
That's all. That's a huge deal. Housing is a crisis here in the county. So, people are very modest in the work that they do.
Yeah, Chris has been very modest. Kitsap Homes of Compassion does a tremendous job, and what folks don't realize, and maybe Pendleton Place is a good comparison of, it took years for Pendleton Place to get up and running, and it's wonderful, right? Around 70 units. What Kitsap Homes of Compassion doing is very quickly adding affordable housing units with this kind of innovative model of shared housing. It's not a fit for everyone, but it's for those that are there. It's a lifesaver. So thank you, Kristen, for all the work that you're doing, because it is. I don't know if folks realize how much that's doing out of nothing, really, right? Like these housing units don't exist. So you're actually taking a single family home and splitting it into multiple units, right? And so out of one home, you're creating 4 or 5 units. What's your biggest house?
Our biggest house is probably a men's house in West Bremerton. It has 6 bedrooms.
6, yeah. So 6 bedrooms, that's 6 units, right? Out of one house, which is amazing. And so that model is kind of piece by piece creating, a good stock. How many units total do you have?
27.
27 houses?
Yes.
And then each of those is like 4 to 6?
3 to 6 bedrooms. We have about 115 beds.
You about 115 beds. There you go. I mean, that's a huge amount of beds. Yeah, 115 beds. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
That's all we do. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and get an update from Katie. We've got some comments from the chat. What does your BIPOC housing look like is a question. And when you say house, or is it a shared bedroom for a single person?
It's a single family home that we rent private bedrooms out to. So everyone has their own individual bedroom with a lock on it. The bathrooms, kitchen, living areas are shared unless you have the master bedroom. Then you get your own bathroom.
Nice. And then do you know what the BIPOC breakdown looks like?
I think we're at about 10% BIPOC out of our population right now.
Right. Perfect. Thank you for that. And thank you, Bailey, in the chat. Appreciate you as always. So, Katie, why don't you give us some updates here? We're going to go ahead and, let you jump on if you want to comment about anything that you've heard. And then also let us know how the Section 8 program worked with, oh man, it's escaping me now, with the cafe. But go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Marwan? Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. It all went off. All right. Yeah, I'll just do a little quick update about our Section 8 waitlist opening last week. It was nice to be able to talk on here during the opening. We learned a lot about Rent Cafe and just kind of removing barriers through the access portal, meaning we required a unique email and we had some clunkiness through our software that made it difficult to register sometimes. So we got a lot of calls on that. We were able to take care of most of them, and we are still working to make sure that everybody who contacted us, gets their fair shot. But the waitlist is closed now. I can't tell you an exact number, but I know it's over 2,300. There's a little bit of a process that goes in afterwards, so maybe I'll have a better update next week. But let's just all take a deep breath. It happened, it was successful, and we are excited about our first opening through Rent Cafe. And Rent Cafe, again, will never close. So now anybody who created an account can update their information with us through Rent Cafe. And as we move forward, we can use Rent Cafe even more, like submitting paperwork and just performing a little bit more self-service any time of the day if our customers prefer that. So it's going to be really important to keep talking about Rent Cafe. It is now how we do business, and the more we do it, the less manual it will be, and the more that we'll have control over our information. So it'll be a good first step. But that's kind of my update.
Thanks, Katie. That's
All right. Thank you for that, Katie. So, Katie is coming to us remote, and the way the system works is like a CB. She has to talk, we had to hit a button so we can go the other way. So that's the first time we've done that with this system. Now, there is a question that came in from the chat, and this one might be for you or Katie. Can we have a podcast live at the encampment with BHA to sign up our marginalized community who doesn't have access to the internet? At Katie. And for me, that I'm all in. So Katie, go ahead and provide that answer. Just give yourself a 3-second delay.
Okay, I gave myself a delay, and I think we've learned a lot through this process, and we really need to get these waitlists open. We can always do more. So now that we're going to talk about it constantly, we're going to write those. I'm going to write that down now and make sure it's on our list for next time we have a waitlist opening. And we do have Section 8 waitlists. We also have public housing waitlists that we are planning to open. So there's a lot of opportunity to kind of get some outreach out there to make sure anybody who wants to sign up can sign up.
All right. And then Katie, the other question is, or behind the Salvation Army in the parking lot. I'll give you a 3-second delay there also.
Well, with the help of Marwan, I think we can do anything. So for sure, I will be working with Marwan to make sure we can get some more podcasts, some more, maybe set up a table. We had a lot of computers available at different locations this time. So just like keeping a list of the locations that we need to be at to make sure we can sign up everybody.
And then are these public info? And if you can see the chat, Katie, you can just go ahead and answer what you see in the chat.
Are these info public info? Yes, all this information, all the podcasts, all the outreach we're doing, is definitely public information. And if somebody needs more information, we can always provide it in a platform like this.
All right. So, and to that end, Bailey, if you ever want me to come and do a podcast, just let me know. I'm there. Yeah, I think that's awesome. And again, as I stated before, this is the whole point of this, right? Is coming together to network. Everyone knows what Bailey does in the community. And what's great is he's watching and Katie's in another location and we're here and then we're all networking and coordinating, and now we've planned something else. So we've made two things just from this meeting. So little things can go a long way. It really is a big deal. So Katie, are those all your updates for us? I know you got to get to a meeting.
Yeah, that's all the updates, but I'll stay on and I'll be watching. It's a great sound quality from here. I haven't actually watched from here, so I'm really glad we got to test out this technology.
Equipment is coming soon, so stay tuned.
Thank you, Katie, and great job on the wait list. I know that was tremendous amount of work for your team, and from our perspective, it seemed to go really, really smoothly. So thank you to you and BHA. I know that was a long week for you all.
Absolutely. Now, we would be remiss if we didn't get an update from Resilient Ecosystems. So, Mark, why don't you give us an update on what's been going on with Resilient Ecosystems? What's new in your zoo?
Let's see. We just put out a book about how to develop a resilient community, and it's really a communication manual. It's to help you understand the roadblocks that people have in our culture to hearing and connecting, and allows you to gain perspective that will help you initiate a conversation that will eventually get you to being on the same page. And that was the goal of it, because when we start building network neighborhoods and connected communities, you've got a lot of people with a lot of different experiences, a lot of background, a lot of fear, and a lot of hesitation. And it talks about needing to listen. It talks about needing to hear the other person's story to a point where they can hear the questions you're asking. And so it's an important piece. Right now, they're only available through Patreon, which is our funding mechanism. But I am going to do 1 week offering them free starting on June 1st. And we will go 7 days offering them for free. And if you go to the Kitsap Resiliency page, I will launch an announcement there. And you can download them as much as you want. I will give you the Patreon link, and they will be available to the public.
All right. And so you said they can get the book on Patreon. Where can they get it?
They can get it they can download it from Patreon.
Okay.
And I will put that link up on June 1st, and it will be free for a week. If you think the work we're doing is good and you'd like to support the work, feel free to go to Patreon. One of the benefits about donating to Patreon at $20 a month is you can get the book. And if you're going to engaging with your community, you also get us to consult with you to help you overcome the roadblocks and to be more successful. We help you facilitate and walk through the process. The other thing that's coming up is on the 23rd of June at Viewcrest Village. We will be doing our 4th Thursday barbecue. That's with G2 and Resilient Ecosystems for the entire Viewcrest community.
That's going to be scary. That's 300 units.
Yeah, and like 700 people. So yeah, we will be at the basketball court behind the preschool doing a barbecue. We are about to start putting the flyers out this week, and we will continue to do so. The management is supporting this effort. They would like to see community connected at Viewcrest Village. And we think that a lot of the problems that happen in the village, in the community, will change when people get to know each other.
Okay, well, you got my juices flowing now, so I don't know if it's too late in the game, but could you ask Tom over there at Viewcrest if maybe a couple agencies can come up and set up a table and share their information?
Well, I know that he's already approved Resilient Ecosystems and G2 to be there since we're supporting the effort.
Okay.
But I can probably do a couple others as well.
I mean, it would be great access for organizations.
And actually, I'm going to turn to Terry because she's my liaison with Tom, and she can go and possibly ask Tom if there can be a couple tables set up for other organizations with services.
I like it. And the good thing is there's no one from G2 here to hear me committing us to more things. So that's awesome. They hate me later. It's like, you did what? Like, yeah. We got this. Don't worry about it.
And I'm just going to tease a little bit here, but there is a meeting coming up next week that could bring some big news for us coming in the autumn time frame. There could be something really big happening.
All right. I happen to know what that is, and so I'll wait with bated breath. I don't know what that means, but I'll
anchovies, bait,
huh?
Bated breath, anchovies, sardines, bait.
Really? Oh. Do you use anchovies for bait?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not a fisherman.
Neither am I.
My fishing is room service.
Exactly. Can I dial over the lobster?
That's pretty much it. Rob, why don't you come on down and tell us what's going on with G2? You are president, after all.
What?
and Rob's timing is spectacular.
Yes, it is.
All right. Good. And yourself, man?
And we do horrible with, talking about ourselves because we're so busy trying to elevate everyone else and provide information that we don't do this part. So,
all right. So here we are. We're going to do this part.
Hey, don't look at me. Look at the camera.
Well, no, I'm looking at you. The camera's on you, man. Because I'm scared.
Oh.
All right. So with G2 in the last month, we've seen our rides increase probably 25%, I'd say. Business is up. We are busy.
And due to gas prices, or are there other factors that you think?
Well, gas prices are never helpful. I mean, that is a whole different subject, but I would say the factors are, more people are seeking help, more people are going to the places that we provide transportation for. Some of them, we pick up clients from Crisis Triage and Pacific Hope and Recovery very often, and we take them to their doctor appointments over at Peninsula Health, or we take them over to KCR, to you guys, or to the Salvation Army, or to the BART clinic. And we're just seeing, or over to St. Michael's, or any basic doctor appointment or dental appointment. And we're seeing a rise in those numbers. So people are using the services, getting more help is what it seems like. But it seems like there's also more people out there that need more help.
Can I interject while you're talking about transportation?
Yes, sir.
So yesterday, stay tuned. We're going to have an interview that we actually shot here yesterday. And it was a gentleman who was at KMH, and we provide transportation for KMH. And so what happened was, during his time there, they would call us to take care of his business, go to appointments and whatnot. And so, unfortunately, a lot of people think, well, we're just a cab company, right? You're just giving them a ride. Well, one of the reasons why we got that contract was because the cab drivers weren't treating the clients with dignity. And so even though KMH was paying for the ride, they still were treating the clients rudely. And it's like, wait, you got guaranteed payment. Why would you treat them any kind of way but, with grace? And so we have conversations with folks when we give them rides, and we give them the space, and we make sure they get there on time. And so we provide that. And so the continuum of care, the way that transportation works is, this gentleman decided to continue to use us after he left KMH. And so he works at McLeod's, and we give him rides to work 5 days a week. And so typically he gets done with work. There's no bus service. And so in order to continue towards self-sufficiency and progressing on, good mental health, you've got to stay employed. You've got to be able to pay your bills. You've got to be able to take care of your business. And so we've been able to do that. And we're proud to say that he has been a client of ours, or a customer, however you want to look at it, for almost a full year. And so that is what that continuum of care is. And so we've gotten to know him. He's gotten to know us. He has built a trust with us. So he shares with us what's going on with his life. We can, give him resources and referrals to things that he has in his life that he needs help with. And so that's what that can look like. And that's why, for us, we wanted to address transportation in this county. But go ahead and continue. So stay tuned for that interview.
Now I got to recollect my thoughts where I was at. But like I was saying, I mean, we are seeing a rise in the use of the services and the people trying to get their help. I know that also we're seeing more people coming into the office asking for that second round of KEPA help, or the first round of KEPA help, or look, I'm being evicted. Is there anything you guys can do right now? We're also, I mean, our food program, we're putting out between 40 and 50 meals on Thursday evenings, delivering them to homes, to many people throughout the county that need them. The food is sufficient. And again, the food, I don't have the term right, but again, if you want to be on that list to get a meal on Thursday night, give us a call by Tuesday. You're on the list that Thursday. And until you call us and say, no mas, we continue to deliver. So, sure.
I also drive for G2 2 nights a week just to keep my hands in. And I will, and one of those days is Thursday. And I will tell you, when you get a meal from these folks, it's home cooked. It's really good. And I walk in there and I start salivating when I come in. And this is what they're putting together for people. I know on St. Patrick's Day that they did corned beef and cabbage. And it was an amazing feeling walking into that place and smelling it. So when they say they deliver meals, they deliver meals.
Thank you for that, Mark. I would also say that we're gearing up because the summer food program's coming. So we participated in that last summer with school-age children, making sure that they got meals 5 days a week for lunches. And we're back in this year. So
800 meals a week?
Between 800 and 1,000. So it is a chore and it is an undertaking, but it is well worth it.
And now I've added the pancake breakfast and the barbecue onto your schedules.
Well, look, we do it all. Okay. I mean, we are here to serve and serve and serve. So, but that's really all that's going on in the house with G2.
All right. I appreciate that.
I got some questions.
Sure.
So, if a case manager wants to get a client signed up for the Thursday, how do they do that? And is it just a Thursday or is it other days? And then also, how would case managers get a client signed up for the summer food program?
Okay. I can answer on the Thursday meals. They would literally just call down to the office, speak to, anybody that answers the phone at the office, and they will sign you up. They'll take the name, the phone number, and the address, because some places we deliver, you have to have the phone number because it's a gated entry, or, so that we can get in to be able to give them the meals. And that's all it takes. As for the summer food program, I believe part of that involves the schools, and our office manager, Stephanie, could speak much better to it than me because I'm not really involved in the sign-up process there.
Tony, will you grab Stephanie, please? Good to see you, sir.
How much is the Thursday food program?
No cost.
$3.99.
Anyone can sign up?
Anyone can sign up in Kitsap.
Anyone who needs a meal.
Yes, sir.
$3.99.
That's amazing.
I love it.
Yeah, it's my favorite price.
And the summer schools, that's for kids that were on free and reduced lunch at the school, and then for the summertime.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
And Rob, do you know, like right now, we're going to be here serving food, right?
Mm-hmm.
It won't be delivery this year. They believe we're post-COVID, so they pulled the delivery piece. And I think we were like the first agency in the state to do delivery for the OSPI food program. But they pulled that back. We're advocating for it again this year, but we're losing that right now. So this will be a location that parents can bring their kids, and Emmanuel Lutheran.
Yes, it's Emmanuel Lutheran over off of Perry Avenue.
And I think there was We're looking at the Sonic Temple downtown as a possible location. So we're having conversations with them.
Yep.
And then also, it's not Head Start, is it?
No, I think she's wanting to have conversations with Head Start also.
Okay.
And I also think that Youth for Christ may be a possibility.
Got you. Because we delivered to Head Start last year, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that was part of the 800 meals. So hopefully, for us, what it takes is if anyone that is out there listening and they know they have a good amount. You don't have to be on camera. Just get on the mic. You just want to ask you about the program. If you have a location where parents have easy access to bring their kids, then reach out to us at 360-373-3000. We can deliver the meals there, and then we just need to have one of our volunteers or staff remain in that location until all the parents come, the kids eat, and then they leave. So we can that's kind of our way to expand where we provide the food. Is that correct, Stephanie?
Yeah. So you're talking about like how we are doing for the Emmanuel Lutheran Preschool?
Yep.
Yeah. So we go and we take all the meals with us, make sure that they get handed out to all the children that are there, make sure that they get eaten, and then we're able to mark them down and then leave, clean up and leave.
Yeah, and we serve all of Kitsap County. So if there's a place on, in Poulsbo or Port Orchard, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I just need to know ahead of time because I do have to list it on the SFP, SFSP, and OSPI web application that it is a alphabet soup so that I can get them signed up as a location where we are serving.
Yeah, and probably a list of children.
How do you sign up for that program? That was asking.
Oh, how to sign up for us?
Case managers get our families signed up for the summer food program.
Oh, just to be able to pick up the food?
Or so how do clients get access to that?
Okay, so regular clients, they can come to any of our, we're going to be having meals here every day. So if they want to come here, and there's nothing for them to sign up, actually. It's just a matter of being able to come in, sit down, have the meal, and us being able to sign them off.
So it's any family. They don't have to go to a particular school.
No. So if say somebody in Paulsbo wants to come here instead because, well, to be quite honest, we're serving a much different menu than what the normal
what do you
lunch
mean?
Programs.
Explain.
Don't put me
What's on the menu?
spot. I do not have the menu with me.
But you have some of the, highlights.
So I think if I can remember correctly off the top of my head, Mondays are wraps. That's our wrap day. So every Monday is a different wrap. From our Asian tuna wrap, our chicken cilantro wrap, chicken salad wrap, and our veggie wrap. So we do have a full vegetarian wrap one day at least. And then I think Tuesdays, if I'm correct, is salads, green salads. Wednesday, and that's 4 different types. Each Tuesday is a different type. And then Wednesdays is kind of my not sandwich day. So I've got gyros for one day, falafels for one day. I think did I put the lamb feta sliders on there? Okay. And yeah, something else. I can't remember what the other one was.
And let me jump in, Stephanie. And so the reason why you're hearing these foods is if you think of when you were a kid and you were eating school lunch, right? You're having waffles or you're having pizza or burritos, and it's kind of this frozen stuff. We want to give low-income kids and parents exposure to other foods, right? To other flavors, to other tastes. And so it's a way to teach while feeding. And expand that. Many of the things that Stephanie is mentioning, I only had because I met Stephanie. I didn't grow up eating that stuff, right? I mean, that's just my domestication. It was my culture. We didn't eat those things, right? We ate hamburgers, hot dogs, and kids love that, of course. But there's other things.
Yeah.
We know we have food deserts. We know we have an obesity problem. We
Yeah.
know we have all these other issues. And so if we can expand the palate, get some spinach in there and some other things, the kids are like, "Oh, I love it." It's like, oh, the parents are
Well,
like,
and I
can make
like
this. It's
we
easy.
did this last summer. Not quite as much. I think I only did like a 3-week menu and then rotated it. And this is a 4-week menu with rotation. And we got some really good feedback from the kids. First time they ever saw hummus, they're like, "Why does this peanut butter not taste like peanut butter?" And then they were eating, and it was like, "Okay, we want more of." They're like, "We want more of this. We want this. Why are we not getting this every time?" So we went with the feedback, and that's why we decided to throw in more of a Mediterranean style menu on more days, also like the gyro and the falafel. Falafel is vegetarian. And so the feedback we got from last summer kind of helped me to build the menu for this summer and throw some extra things in. Although I do have to say Thursdays is the pasta salad days. I have 4 different pasta salads I'll be serving. And then Fridays is kind of a not lunch where we did a couple of different things where it's kind of going to be finger foods where they can build their own. I'm going to make a homemade naan bread, and they're going to be able to build their own little mini pizzas, or they'll just be able to have like meat and cheese and vegetables like and fruit, like pick and pull and just kind of snack, so they can kind of do their own thing and create their own meals basically. So the Fridays is going to be more of them being able to kind of, play with their food.
Was there an agency that was giving you kudos for the food last year? Who was that?
So Emmanuel Lutheran, they signed up right away when they found out we were doing it again this year, because they absolutely adored the food. The kids, matter of fact, they're the ones that were like, "What is this hummus?" and then wanted way more. And then I actually spoke with not only the head of Head Start, but somebody from the health department. And both of them were very impressed by I sent them not just the menu, but the breakdown of the ingredients in the menu. And so they were very impressed with how much thought went into the breakdown of the menu and how it was put together into the foods that I'm serving, because it covers all of the nutritional requirements that you have to have for OSPI, but then it bounces it up, because it gives all those different flavor profiles and all those different textures and foods and things that, like Marwan said, kids don't really see a lot.
So while we don't share enough of what we do and what it looks like, and Matt, I don't know if you can advocate for us, but you do have a lot of parents and kids that come down for services. Could we get maybe a room down there, and then as parents are coming in for services, they can bring their kids and eat, and they don't have to go anywhere else? Because that's one of the challenges. That's why we wanted to deliver such a hardship for someone that maybe doesn't have transportation. Let's not even talk about gas prices now, but maybe they don't have a valid driver's license. Maybe their car doesn't run very well. Maybe they're sharing a car and the other person is working. And that's a time expenditure. And so we could talk about money being the most valuable asset, but it's actually time, right? Because with time, you can earn more money, you could do more things. And so not being able to deliver, to me, is a hardship on the parents and on the kids. Mm-hmm. And some parents may say, you know what, I would love to give my child this opportunity, but it's going to take 2 or 3 hours out of my day. I'm just going to give them whatever's in the fridge and we'll just deal with it. So the more accessibility that we can provide, the better. So, I mean, if that's something that, sounds good and maybe you can advocate for, then we can make that a location also. Like, that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I definitely think we're interested. Let's talk more after this for sure. But I just want to understand. So right now you have the Thursdays, anyone can sign up that needs a meal and you deliver.
Yeah.
This summer, you'll have different sites that folks can come to.
Yep.
They don't need to pre-register, income qualify. They just need to have a child or a dependent with them under 18. Mm-hmm. Okay. But can singles come as well or no? single
No,
adults?
We cannot, for the summer food program, we cannot feed the adults unless they, sorry. For the summer food program, we cannot feed the adults unless they want to pay for it.
Okay.
And then that's $5 per meal. Okay.
Awesome. So that's why you're looking for potential KCR to be a site where potential. Yeah, let's chat about that for sure. I definitely think very interested. So we can just is there a schedule or a flyer of where all the sites are going to be so that we can start advertising that to families?
Yeah, as it gets closer. Well, I guess we are. Oh man, school ends next month.
I know.
I guess there will be a flyer coming really soon.
I will have a flyer by Monday. The menus are already done. But the actual sites, I have to get those okayed. And once I get them okayed by OSPI and the WINS, more letters, I will get that flyer made and have those out.
Actually, I have, as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about the KCR on Park. And I'm thinking about that little park right in the corner of the parking lot. And I'm thinking, ooh, that would be so cool to sit in the park and be able to have food.
Yeah, there is that park. I mean, we'd have to rain dependent, of course, but yeah, there's some interesting options. So let's definitely talk about it. So there's what we could do is sign up to be part of a regular schedule. Is that what you're thinking? So
they could show up there on Monday through Friday and bring their kids and get their meal.
And have a meal.
And it'll be a certain time every day.
Okay. And there'd be a certain and it's every day throughout the summer.
Every day. Oh, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Could we sign up for a portion of certain days, or would it need? If you're committing, you need to be.
No, you could sign up for whatever is good for your location.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her question.
Okay.
That one I don't know.
Got it.
I just need. I would need to know probably in about a week and a half.
Okay.
I have to submit.
We need to
and
submit
have
it.
them
Okay.
Check out the location and make sure it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it can be outdoors or indoors.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because some people set up their in like the park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's chat about that for sure. How do other agencies that do it outside, or?
I don't actually know because it's other agencies that do it. Because last year was our first year, and like you said, we did the delivery. And so it's just a matter of I have to submit the information to them and get them to okay it, and then we have to have the oversight. So we have to have one of our volunteers there signing off the children as they come through.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it though. It's really super easy. It's just sometimes a little bit of extra time for the bureaucracy.
Okay. Yeah. Let's. I think we got to chat about a few things, but awesome. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, absolutely. So is that a good full G2 update?
It is. That is.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, but wait.
Oh, wait. There's more.
So I just wanted to point out that this is the benefit of doing this kind of discussion. KCR now has a potential other option to offer services to the folks coming into them because of the conversation happening here. See what happens when people talk to each other? Pieces of a puzzle. The puzzle comes in, you start looking at the pieces, and you start seeing a whole different picture than the one we have now.
Well, I think that's it for G2. I mean, we're busy people. I mean, if you come back and talk to me next week, I might have more for you. Okay?
Well,
come back in a half hour.
Give me an hour.
We're about done, but we'll have a little fun thing at the end. So this Friday, what comes out?
Oh, Obi-Wan comes out this Friday night.
Right. So we are going to do a podcast after each episode about Obi-Wan. So Mark is going to be on the podcast. Rob's going to be on the podcast. Are you a Star Wars person or are you a Trekkie? You're a Trekkie.
I am both.
Are you both?
Yes,
I'm both too.
worlds.
Yeah? Wow. Do you want?
Though Star Wars tends to be on the dystopian side of things, and I prefer the non-dystopian side of a future. But...
Oh, Gene Roddenberry had the perfect future. Yeah, I watch both too.
On Disney?
Yes, on Disney.
Oh,
Disney
really?
Plus.
Yeah.
Like we just had that other one.
Yeah. No, they got to keep coming.
It's gonna be even more.
They keep doing
and more and more and more. Of course, I watched all of them.
Disney, she didn't mean that. Please keep cranking out the shows. We love you.
Only if there's baby Yoda.
Oh, if there's no baby, this is going to be pretty dark.
Obi-Wan is so sexy.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Hayden Christian is coming back to do Vader. So let's just say,
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. We do have to set up a schedule for that, but that should be a lot of fun having a post discussion based on the episode. So stay tuned for the thumbnail and coming soon.
What's that other thing we were talking about? Stranger Things?
Oh, yeah. Stranger Things 4. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you watch Stranger Things?
I do watch Stranger Things.
So have you seen the previews for season 4? That's Friday.
I have seen this.
You want to talk about that one too?
That's probably what we want.
Yeah. So, man, I've heard some fantastic things for this first part of season 4 is going to be phenomenal.
to build onto that and to show just what kind of nerd I really am, Millie Bobby Brown played Enola Holmes in a Netflix version of Sherlock Holmes' young sister. It was incredible. It was
saw it, but
absolutely
I
incredible.
haven't watched the movie. I've seen the previews for it. So
What was that? Superman with Sherlock Holmes in that movie.
really,
Henry
Yes.
Cavill.
yeah, I definitely haven't seen that. All right, I have to check it out. Was it?
Henry Clavell did an absolutely passable job as Sherlock Holmes, which surprised me.
Enola Holmes? Okay, I have to check it out. Yeah, I know it's on Netflix. I saw it, but I'm pretty busy, so certain things.
So, as a final point of here, because I actually have to get going too, we've talked about food and food security, and we talked about the feeding programs. We've talked about the fact that there's a lack of resources. We've talked about the importance of having these conversations and people bringing their puzzle pieces, and the importance of these podcasts to get the information out. But we also need to talk about the empowering of ourselves to do that, to step forward, because we are the only ones that have the power to change our future. And yeah, I'm going to talk about the truck stuff for a minute. I know. And to have a non-dystopian future, we have to come together and have these discussions. And I'm going to give a pitch for the Kitsap Resiliency Project, because the Kitsap Resiliency Project is not resilient ecosystems. It is resilient ecosystems. It is G2. It is local businesses like Cookies and Colello's and Rosanna's Market, and people who want to see real community. And the importance of it is, if we come together, we can change the future and do it better than we're doing it now. Because no one's going to make that choice for us. We have to tell them that that's what we want, or it'll never happen. And one of the things about food is food's lost 50% of its nutrition in the last 70 years because of our agricultural practices. It's at risk. We have a project in the Kitsap Resiliency Project called Food for All. We need people to step up to drive that project. So go to the Kitsap Resiliency Project page on Facebook, reach out to us, let us know you're interested, become part of the group. We have several discussions going on, one about housing, one about food for all. We have one about power for all. We have things that we can bring people together and create a new future. But you have to show up. It's just that simple.
All right. Well, that sounds like, Matt has the final word. Matt, you want to give us the final word?
No, I like that. I think that was great. You got to show up, right? You got to show up. That's half the battle, just showing up.
So we got a He-Man reference and now a G.I. Joe reference. Wow. Knowledge is power, but only if you use it.
That's right.
It's the only way it's powerful. G.I. Joe was there. All right, guys. I am R1 Cameron. This is The Conduit. Thank you for joining us. And again, we hope to see you next fourth Wednesday, but we'll definitely see you at our regularly scheduled time, 12 p.m. for Resilient Ecosystems and 3 p.m. for our housing discussion. Until next time, I'm R1 Cameron. This is The Conduit. Oh, and Jennifer Chamberlain this Sunday on The Conduit at noon, Councilwoman Chamberlain. So don't miss that. All right. Until next time, I'm R1 Cameron. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.